It's time for the absolutely... I'm on my way! Completely! I'm almost there! Random! Why are there so many stairs? Podcast! Oh, jeez! With Andrew Rhodes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the absolutely, completely random podcast, the video series where I pretty much just talk about shit that I find throughout the week here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. And what am I going to talk about this week? Well, believe it or not, a lot of weird stuff. I mean, anything can happen here, right? Well, this week, believe it or not, Gamescom is going digital. That's right. No in-person event this year. It's full-on digital. In all honesty, I think all conventions should just go digital at this point because, honestly, it would save a shit ton of money. I'm not even going to lie. And a lot more people could come. I have not one, but two Pokemon topics that all tie into one major thing, and that is that Pokemon cards seem to be skyrocketing in price for some unknown reason. No, seriously, what the fuck? I want to know this. What's going on here? I mean, I got some Pokemon cards. Are they worth a shit ton of money? Because if they are, Daddy's going to sell them because, a lot of stuff got to get done. I might even have to get the car fixed now. I don't know. God, I hope not. Players have found a way to get around the timer on the Resident Evil Village demo for the PC. No shit, that was an easy one that probably got hacked in like 30 seconds. And Sony, please stop the thank you for your purchase thing. A lot of people aren't liking it. I'll explain all this and more this week on the absolutely, completely random podcast. But before we go any further, I'm sure you all know the song and dance by now. If you don't, just hum along if you want to learn the tune. It's very simple. ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. I have a wide variety of stuff for sale, from trading cards to DVDs, action figure parts. One person's trash is always another person's treasure, and I am the one that has the trash that could become your treasure. That's right. So if you're in the mood for finding some weird things, some strange oddities, something that just catches your fancy, swing on by my eBay page. That's ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. And while you're out there surfing the information superhighway, why not swing on over to, you guessed it, that's right, Twitter. You can hang out with me over at Otaku Rhodes. That's the @ symbol, capital OTAKU, capital RHOADS, over on ye old Twitter. And while you're on the social media side of the internet, why not swing on over to ye old Facebook? Because, believe it or not, I got a Facebook page too for the channel. That's right, the Web Designer 18 Facebook page. You can check that out too. I do say try here because I don't do Facebook that much, but I do try to update it as much as I can with new videos drop here on the channel. Speaking of new videos dropping on the channel, while you're here, why not hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can be made aware when new videos drop right here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. You know, because it would be nice to know. Just ring the notification bell, set it to all. Then that way, whenever a video drops, you know about it. That's simple. Alright, so this is the part where we usually go about how did your week go, Andrew, and, well, I'm just going to come right out. No, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. My week sucked. Not as bad as last week's having to go and get the battery replaced on freaking Monday, but I'm not going to lie, it almost got a close second. I went to the Dollar Tree today, and the car didn't want to start when I came out of the Dollar Tree, so that pissed me off a little bit. So I think it might be the fuel filter. I'm assuming it couldn't be the spark. I've narrowed it down that it couldn't be the spark plugs because I would have been getting a check engine light, and it would have been saying misfire in cylinder 1 if it was the spark plugs. Then again, it could still be the spark plugs. I don't know. It might be the spark plugs. Might just be getting worn out, which is a possibility. If that's the case, I'll still have to find somebody else to do it because I might over-tighten them and make it really worse. So, yeah, so it could still be the spark plugs. It could be the fuel filter's just dirty and really, gunked up, which is just a simple replacement. It could be the fuel pump might be bad or going bad, which, again, that's would have to be replaced. Otherwise, yeah, I've narrowed it down to that. So 3 possibilities. Well, technically 2 possibilities, 1 maybe. It might still be the spark plugs, even though I kind of remember with the Sable I had a misfire, and it turned out to be the spark plugs were like massively gapped, but the misfire on cylinder 1 still wasn't fixed even after we replaced those, and I thought about it later in the day, and I'm like, shit. So it could just be the spark plugs might be bad, which is a possibility. I mean, the car's, it's 2007, so that damn thing's been around now for 14, 15, well, actually, it would have been 15 years. It would have came out in 06. So 15 years. So, yeah, it's a 15-year-old car. What the hell am I expecting? And before somebody out there in the comment section decides to be a smart ass and go, well, why don't you just buy a new car? Sure, I'll get on that with all the money I don't have. I mean, I can get little things for myself here and there on eBay, but a car is not one of them. Unless it's a little Matchbox car that I'm finding on eBay for $1. I mean, I got a couple things on eBay because I had a couple things that sold, and I used some of the money that I got from that, from some of my stuff selling to get some things that I needed for the channel, get some things that I needed for me, like, oh, here's another, like, SD card, tripod for my camera, stuff like that. And a couple things that, hey, I wanted to give myself something nice because honest to God, last year was horrible for everybody, but near the end of it was just a pain in the ass for me. And I'm like, you know what, this is going to be my little treat to myself for what I had to put up with the end of last year, even through, I want to say, the start of February this year with the ice station roads. We had no power in half the goddamn house. Yeah, that. No heat and running water for a couple days in the middle of a fucking blizzard. Yeah, that. Yeah, I think I kind of deserved something nice from that, and I kind of got a couple things for me. So, yeah, a car, though, is expensive as all hell. So that's not happening. Unless a miracle happens and I win the lottery, but you gotta be in it to win it, and I bought a ticket yesterday and I didn't win, so I'm not gonna be getting one until at least Monday, so yay, I'm still screwed. But yeah, so there was that this week. Work was a pain in the ass, but it always is. It's just ye old time of year because of everything that's going on too. Watched Jacksepticeye and his girlfriend play It Takes Two, the psychedelic LSD acid trip. I did a discussion video on it. It's just kind of interesting. That'll be going up sometime this coming week. I know I didn't put up anything this past week. I honestly did forget. I recorded a couple things. I forgot that I had recorded a couple things, and I had them set up as videos already. All I had to do was upload, and I honest to God forgot. Because I had some other things on my mind, taking priority, so there was that. And then I found out that a friend of mine got scammed. She got hoot, screwed, and tattooed, basically, from one of those, oh, well, we'll give you something free, but you need to pay us with eBay gift cards type of scam. Which anybody out there that ever watches those videos on YouTube, it's a fun... Those are a blast to watch. Just people just get screwed with the stupidest things. So she got screwed with that. She literally got hosed. And I don't mean to sound insensitive, but I couldn't stop laughing. When my mom told me Thursday, that's when she found out, honest to God, I was laughing my ass off. So damn badly I was laughing. If you've ever seen Wade, or his username is LordMinion777. If you've ever seen his one episode of The Forest with him, Mark, and Bob, when Mark destroyed their precious tower, that him and Bob had spent a couple episodes, they deforest half the area around them to build. And he destroyed it in a matter of seconds after Bob destroyed his gazebo. Wade's face was turning a bright red from laughing so hard. That's basically, according to my mom, how I looked. When she was telling me this entire story on Thursday, my face was bright red. Because my friend contacted eBay to say something to them. I think she was hoping eBay was going to give her money back from the gift cards, but that's that's not happening. It was at least like $300. I don't know the exact amount, but I know it was at least 300. So it's like she got screwed. I mean, in all honesty, I would just take this as a learning experience and be done with it. Oh, okay, I learned my lesson. I got screwed. I learned from this mistake. I will never let it happen again. But it's the fact that she literally preaches stuff to people for the, please don't, don't do this. It's a scam. Don't do this. It's a scam. And she literally falls for this one because they promised her a bunch of add-ons for her television service, and she got scammed. She got hoot screwed and tattooed, and I could not stop laughing. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I just couldn't stop laughing. I still get a fucking kick out of it yet. It's just one of those. I find it funny as hell. I know a few other people have found it funny as hell. I sure found it funny as hell. I've been laughing about it. I don't mean to. I know it's horrible and cruel to laugh at somebody else's misfortune, but I really don't have any sympathy for this one because several red flags should have tipped her off in the story she told me. Several red flags should have tipped her off. It's similar to the scam that was going around a couple years ago where people were coming to our front door from the electric company and they're like, oh yeah, no, we want to, we're signing you up for this. You guys are going to get a rebate. And the one was this lady the one time. She came literally as we're eating. My mom and grandfather were handling her because it's like, I'm not getting involved in this. It's a fucking scam. I could smell it was a scam. Then there was a guy that came to the door the one time. My mom handled him and it was, oh yeah, it was a fucking scam. Wholeheartedly was it a scam. It's like, you honest to God think we're stupid enough to fall for this? But my mom, went along with him to a point. I was never going to okay the transaction or the authorization when I answered the phone, and she already knew I was never going to do that. She needed to get as much information as she could from the guy because she knew somebody that worked for the electric company. She was going to say something to them. So that worked out really well. We didn't get in any trouble or anything, and we didn't fall for it, but my mom basically played them a bit like a fiddle. But my friend, she got hoot screwed and tat fucking tooed, and whoo, she's never going to live it down. I can tell you that right now, she's never going to live it down. Because I sure as hell ain't going to let her live it down in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, so that was my week. Like I said, boring as all hell, but I do have some fun stuff coming up this week. I do have a video that I'm going to put a bit of work into. There's going to be at least one or two special videos coming out. The one I wanted to put out last week and I actually did forget, and another one that I think might entertain some people, and it might see how well this works to see if I think the second video is pretty much going to be my let's actually see how well I actually can do on YouTube and do this at, because if I suck at it, then I pretty much know that I've wasted the last few years of my life. And if that's the case, I'll basically go right to plan Z, which I'm kind of hoping doesn't happen, but hey, you never know, it might. But just in case, it's sort of like a Hail Mary. I kind of want to, experiment. I want to test the water, basically, see what happens. But yeah, there is that. But either way, I do have some fun stuff planned for this coming week, at least recording-wise, so there is that. But either way, let's dive into the podcast, shall we? It's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so for those of you that were hoping to attend Gamescom physically this year, you're kind of up shit creek without a paddle. Big time, too, mind you, because this year Gamescom announced that Gamescom 2021 will be fully digital this year. The officials announced this at a press release on Wednesday. It's a reversal of their earlier plans for a semi-live event, inadvisable given the the pandemic that shall not be named. Or I should say the condition that shall not be named. It's almost like we're now at the part where we have to treat this like it's Lord Voldemort from fucking Harry Potter. And it's like, that which shall not be named is the reason why we can't do this, kids. That which shall not be named is the reason why this had to close early this year, kids. That which shall not be named is the main reason why this won't be happening in person this year, but you can still sit at your computer and do it, or on your tablet or on your phone. And I'm going to say this again, and I will probably quote myself half a dozen times until it gets heard of. But here's the thing. I think all conventions should just be done digitally from now on, for several reasons. One, it's a hell of a lot more convenient. You have more people on digital devices nowadays than you have on anything else. They read books on Kindles and iPads and tablets and smartphones. They surf the net on them. They do their taxes on them. They do everything on there but use a damn app to wipe their ass. And I guarantee you there's an app for that. I honestly wouldn't doubt it. There's an app for that. So, you figure technology is advanced to the point that you can literally just have somebody sitting in their damn home and they could surf the net on the toilet. It's not going to kill them. So that's one. Two, they could get more people. You still have to charge for a ticket. They can't enter the site where, the thing's happening without having their ticket ID number. That will be their username. It's, it's specific only to them. And if they sell it, okay, so let's say, like, if I were to buy a ticket for, let's say, I created, Dumbass Con 2022 or something, and I sold tickets online for it. Each ticket was like, I'll go with $20 a pop, maybe 30. And let's say that person A bought 3 tickets, one for him and one for his 2 friends. And then let's say that, person B bought, 6 tickets, one for them and 5 to resell at a marked up price of like, 20% to 40%. Okay, those would still work. It'd be shady as shit, but it would still work. However, the simple way around that is you make it a unique passcode per ticket that is only good for one ticket. So in other words, like, let's say that, let's say person A bought the 3 tickets. You don't get one password, which would suck. Or to make it even better, just basically limit it to 1 ticket per fucking person, which would be the normal way to do things. So there's multiple ways to get around any of those problems that could possibly happen. And the third, you can, besides reaching a broader audience, you can get a lot more shoved into it. In a physical convention center, you're limited by the space you have. There has to be room for people to walk. There has to be room for, tables and that to be set up, for booths to be set up, and all that other fun bullshit. You need to have a set space for all of this. Each set space is then dignified to a small area. And I've said it several hundred times that we could just honestly get to the point where, here's, portion A, and all you need to do is literally just stand here or interact with that website, and, that's it. You can literally just do that. Or you're on the site and it's basically, here's everything for this day. So, like, let's say you're there for Friday, and Friday's going to have like a Q&A session with several people. Well, you can sit in on that Q&A session with those several people, provided you have the ticket for it. Or let's say you just want to stroll around and see what's for sale. You can do that. There's be an entire page where you can literally just take control of, like, either a small little virtual character that can walk around and interact with some 3D environments, or it's literally just a page that has each one of the, companies and sponsors that are going to be there and booths and that have a specific setup for what they're selling at that particular convention. Like if this was an anime convention, let's just say that, oh, well, we want to sell like a whole crap ton of the DVDs and that we have, or the Blu-rays. It'll instantly pull up this is what they have. And if you buy something off of that in a secure transaction, they'll get the money minus a fee that, the convention center would take for hosting your service. Sort of like what eBay's doing now with, the funds. Instead of going to PayPal, it's the convention center will just send you the money, but they keep like 10 or 20% for their trouble. There is that issue. But so still, there's multiple things that can be done to keep, conventions full on digital. It's one of those that can still improve, especially if you sit down and actually think about it and with given time. But anyway, held annually, though, in Cologne, Germany, and I do apologize to any of my German listeners if I mispronounced that right. I do not understand German. I understand some angry German from when my grandfather would yell, but I don't know actual German. I was not allowed to take a foreign language in school. Not my mom's decision, it was the school's decision, so go figure on that one. But Gamescom is one of the more prominent trade shows in the video game industry. Though not quite at the tier that E3 is in terms of omnipresent publicity, which honestly I'd never heard of it until this article came out, so that tells you something. E3 I've heard of, I never heard of this one. Then again, I actually watched some events from E3 for a couple of years. I thought that was pretty cool. Then you hear some stories from people that it's like, oh yeah, where I work at, we can get tickets to go there every year. It's not fucking worth it. And I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted to go to E3, but oh well. Still, though, the event is a hotbed for trailers, updates, and announcements. So basically, it's like a mini Nerdvana, but it's not Nerdvana. It's sort of like the truck stop to Nerdvana that leaks some information that might have some stuff before Nerdvana actually gets their hands on it, which honestly sounds pretty damn cool. Yeah. Really does. But anyway. So last year, though, as countries around the globe struggled to contain the pandemic that shall not be named, you all know what it is. I don't need to tell you. Yeah, I really don't, because it's like I said, we're at the level of Voldemort now, where it shall not or cannot be named. So yeah, Gamescom pivoted to an entirely digital production, much like many other events, and then immediately a lot of other events started bitching that they're not making any money. Whereas, I kind of think they would have made a little more. The problem was the timing and everything else also affected it. But still, you were making money. Don't bullshit us. In fact, you were saving some money by not having to rent out a giant-ass hall. So go kiss off. So, this March, though, Gamescom organizers said they intended to hold a hybrid event. Featuring both digital presentations and IRL hands-on demonstrations. Yeah. Apparently, Kotaku deemed this decision, at the time. However, today, Gamescom is following the lead of other major industry events by going all digital. It basically went up to the crafts table and said, we're all in right here, baby. Double down on 00. Even though the hybrid concept was very well received by partners, they had to recognize that Gamescom still comes too early for many companies in the industry due to the required planning, reliability. Oliver Fries, COO of Köln Messe, the German trade show organizers. Again, I apologize if I am mispronouncing things here. Okay? I really do. I apologize if I am mispronouncing anything. One thing is absolutely clear. All those involved now need planning reliability. That's why we're going for a purely digital Gamescom again this year. I don't really see that being a bad thing. I really don't. because it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. But still, steel yourself though for world exclusives and pre-show trailers, live or digital. According to the one person who will still host the marquee event, opening night live just as he did last year. Okay, it's Jeff Kegley? Knightley? Is that how you pronounce Knightley? I don't know. But Gamescom kicks off August 25th and will run through August 27th. So it's all digital, baby. Yep, hands down, all digital. There's no more of this, no more in person, all digital, baby. They have doubled down on 00. They're going all in, balls to the walls. And honestly, like I said, I don't see this being a bad thing because you really should. I still think that way because you could get more people from overseas and outside your local country to come to a convention. Like, let's say somebody over in an unknown country that I don't even know exists. I don't think anybody would. Let's say that they would want to go to Comic-Con. Well, if Comic-Con goes digital and pure digital, they could. They buy a ticket. They can go legally via the digital portal. And you're opening yourself up to more people outside of your general area. You open it up to more of an open world, which in turn equals more money, which then makes you rich people more happy. Do you see the concept of how this works? The more money you have, the more happier you seem. It's not that difficult of a concept, though. Somehow it's lost on a lot of you. I don't know how. But either way, I think Gamescom made the right decision, go digital, because the pandemic that shall not be named is still going on. Okay, that which shall not be named is still going on. I'm not even going to get into the whole, I've literally been keeping my tongue quiet on a few things because every time I go up to the convenience store that I live near to get a sandwich for lunch, and I do that like 3 days a week, I have to sit there and listen to the ramblings of one of the elderly patrons that comes in, sits there for like a couple minutes. I swear they're waiting for somebody to come pick them up, or they come up there and they're just so used to it just for like the interaction with people. I don't know. I don't care to know, to be honest with you, because I just don't. But it's not for like a lack of reason. It's just that this old person really does bug me because they don't really consider themselves or consider other people's thoughts. It's like, I'm right, you're wrong, do what I say type of person, and I hate those people. So this elderly person keeps complaining every time about anything you could think of, and that which shall not be named is constantly at the first and forefront of their arguing debates, and I avoid them like the plague. So yeah, it's still going on. I'm keeping my tongue behind my teeth. So yeah, I've had my fill at this point, but I'm not saying anything because I am not opening that can of worms, nor do I care to. But yeah, I think Gamescom made the right decision to go full digital. I'm not going to lie. So I'm happy for them. I hope it works out really well for them. It should. But if not, oh well. Better luck next year. Reset. Try again. Okay, so Resident Evil 8 has officially dropped. I think it still might be on pre-order, but no, you can actually buy it now. I just literally saw an ad for it. Okay, so you can buy the thing. So it's out. But there are people that found a way around the timer for the demo. So what happens is a lot of games, they'll give you a demo. And the demo could have like, oh look, here's like, enjoy 5 minutes of gameplay. Where you can play the game for literally 5 minutes. Now, there are some YouTubers and a couple Twitch streamers that have taken this 5-minute demo challenge as a challenge to beat the whole game. There are some that actually succeeded in that. Granted, though, they had to cheat like crazy, and they don't actually consider themselves official, but anybody out there that can actually beat a game in under 5 minutes, first off, the game must suck ass then, or you really, really, really have the cheat codes going like crazy, and you unlock God mode or something, because there's like no way to actually beat a game in like 5 minutes. But apparently, players have found a way to, at least the PC ones anyway, found a way to offset the quote the devil timer for the PC demo for Resident Evil Village. Yeah, it's been a freaking stupid mess though, if anything. Limited windows to play it. You in early access on only PlayStation, but apparently the time-limited demo went live on all platforms, including PC. Naturally, PC players quickly figured out a way to bypass the 1 hour timer and play for as long as they want. Okay, so it's a 1 hour timer on this one. Okay, now if you can beat a game in an hour, okay, that's more impressive. I'm sorry. If you can actually beat the game in an hour, that's impressive. That is extremely impressive. But it shouldn't be surprising that on a platform as open as the PC, folks would quickly figure out how to get around Capcom's silly 60-minute timer. Yeah, I mean, there's ways to do it. I remember when I had gotten a gift from my great aunt the one time. It was a GameCube game. It was the Legend of Zelda collection for the GameCube that time. And on it was a demo. I think it was like a 5-minute demo for either like 5 or 15-minute demo for Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. And I ended up getting The Wind Waker then years later, and that's one of my all-time favorite Zelda game, by the way, is The Wind Waker. I love The Wind Waker. I don't care what people say, I do love that one because it's the most easiest one there is, in my opinion. There's, and I did play some of the other ones too, because that collection disc had Majora's Mask, which was the first time I had ever touched Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and I did try playing both of those. I got my ass kicked. I'm not even joking. I literally got my ass kicked. So, yeah, I've played Legend of Zelda before, okay? I have played some Zelda games. So, but yeah, when it comes to like the PC though, there are ways to easily cheese the hell out of this. All you have to do, at least in my opinion, what you'd have to do is just look for the timer setting and then just delete it or change the script so that the timer setting is automatically disabled or set to infinity. So, yeah, there's an easy way to do that. It's honestly just like one line of code. That's what really annoys me with this, is that the developers never really think too far ahead into this. It's like one line of code. That's it. 2 at the most. So, yeah. It's just weird. But it's cute, though, that, and I love this. Sorry if I'm yawning there. I've been up since, like 3:30 this morning. But it's cute, though, that Capcom even included the timer on PC. At least it gave folks something to poke at if they were bored. Yeah, let's see if we can beat Resident Evil 8 The Village in an hour. Probably not, because I actually watched some cutscenes from this. I think it would take at least an hour to get maybe a quarter of the way through the game. I'll try not to spoil anything, but I don't think I almost hate to say it this way because I saw the launch trailer for it. I think Capcom overhyped this one. I really do. I think Capcom looked at this and said, hey, we're going to have a kick-ass game here. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be, the best game you're ever going to watch and ever going to play. And I think they highly overhyped this one, like severely overhyped it, and it just could not live up to the expectations. It basically did to this game what I swear the trailers for alphas did for the TV show, where it wrote a check that, as I said it, and I still stand by it, that those freaks couldn't cash. Because I watched alphas, that show sucked, and that trailer led you to believe this show is going to be a goddamn beautiful thing, and it just wrote a check that, those characters could not cash. A perfect example, though, for a game would be Mighty Number 9. The trailer, the name, the people behind it, everything that pushed onto this, it all wrote a check that game could not cash. That game did not have the funds to cover that. And I think Capcom bit off a little more than they wanted to with this one. Now, I'm not going to lie. The cutscenes are beautiful. The gameplay is really good, save for a couple parts that I saw the clips for, because 90% of this game seems to be you walking around in a goddamn circle, hiding from either Lady, whatever the hell her name is. What is it? Damakanissu or something? Or Demiscu? I can't even pronounce her last name. But you're basically running and hiding from her. Or you're hiding from Psychopath A that wants to kill you, Psychopath B that wants to kill you, or you're trying your damnedest to kill one thing, and it's like, yeah, no, I could never figure it out there. So, I don't know. But it's just funny. And it really is. It honestly is that they just found a way to get around it. I mean, it's not that difficult. I actually Googled, because I had a game, I think I still have it yet. I don't think I got rid of it. It's called Freelancer. It's for the PC. It's a really fun game, actually. It's really cool. I enjoyed it. But I actually could not beat it. And I looked up online how to beat it. And they're like, oh, you got to do this, this, and this. And when I tried that, I was getting my ass kicked yet. So finally, I just you know what? Nuts to this. I wanted to look up an infinite health cheat code. And I found God mode. And I'm like, God mode? All I had to do was literally just change one character in the code. And that was it. I changed that, I'm in God mode. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to keep God mode on because the game pissed me off. I tried to legitimately beat it. I got my ass kicked. To the point where I was tired of screwing around. Nuts to this. God mode it is. And I went God mode. But I just love this, so. And again, I apologize. I also have a bit of allergies tonight. In a tweet that was put out by the Resident Evil Twitter account, we've heard your feedback and are extending the availability period for the final 60-minute multi-platform Re-Village, or Resident Evil Village demo. The original 24-hour window starting 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on May 1st. To May 2nd into May 2nd has been increased by a week, and it now ends on the same time on May 9th, which is tomorrow. Woo, yeah! Yeah! But actually, resetting the timer in the demo does involve a few more steps than turn off and turn on, so I think a lot of folks won't bother with resetting the timer. And in all honesty, I don't really think anybody's going to care because, like I said, I think Capcom overhyped this one massively. Like I said, I watched it. I watched the trailer. Okay, I watched the trailer, and some of the stuff was popping up for, the game on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I gotta see this because I watched and she's actually 9 feet tall. Somebody said she was like 8 foot at some point. She's 9 feet tall. That lady Demiscu, or however you pronounce her last name. She's like 9 feet. She's like 9 feet 6 inches tall. And there was a scene where she gets. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I think at this point spoilers are. If you haven't already Googled it and YouTubed it, you ain't trying hard enough. She transforms, and I'm like, okay, and I'm watching this gameplay, and I'm like, you're literally just running around in a circle, shooting. This is like a rail shooting level without the rail. It's idiotic. Yeah, no. So that made me want to watch some of the other stuff. The cutscenes are pretty cool, but the plot, oh my god, it is everywhere. You know what? Fuck it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet, or you haven't played the game yet. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So, basically, Ethan and Ethan Winters and Rosemary Winters get captured by Ethan's buddy, and unfortunately, he ends up escaping. And Rose is taken prisoner by Mother Miranda and I guess her merry band of idiots. I have never actually played Resident Evil before, so please forgive me if I don't know a lot of the factions and stuff like that. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna look it up because it honestly didn't thrill me. So he's on a quest now to save her. He's at one point he's captured, and they're like, "So what should we do with him?" And the honor to kill him goes to the one person, and Lady Demikesu, or however you pronounce her name, she gets pissed off, and Mother Miranda's like, "Oh no, no, no! We're keeping this exactly as it is. My decision's final." So that was like the one part that I saw, the one scene. You have like Mia's basically gone full on psycho bitch, tries to kill Ethan, tries to kill Ethan and take their daughter, doesn't understand what the hell's going on. So yeah, there's a scene with him getting his leg chopped off by some nut job in a shack, which you end up finding out, and here's where the big ass spoiler alert comes from, that Ethan actually died there, and his body is literally mold. It's basically mold. He's walking mold. And yeah, that's literally it. Rose is Evelyn's true form, her true reincarnation, her true form, basically. Mia's alive and well, even though she was supposedly killed, but it turns out it was Mother Miranda disguised as her. That was interesting. Yeah, we find out that Ethan's basically not human anymore. He gets part of his hand eaten off by a werewolf. He has to battle, Lady Demikesu or Damascu, or however you fucking pronounce her name. Lady D. I'm just going to call her Lady D. He's got to fight Lady D. He's got to take down a bunch of psychopaths. There's a bunch of weird shit, and it all culminates to Ethan sacrificing himself to save everybody and destroy the village. There you go. I just saved you the time and effort of playing and or watching this game. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the gameplay was kind of interesting in some parts that I saw, but it's literally run around in a circle or walk in a circle, crouch, hide, sneak around, try not to get caught, and if you do get caught, run like hell so they don't catch you and kill you. That's literally all this game is. It is a gigantic cat and mouse, and it's annoying as all goddamn hell. It's idiotic, it's weird. I think Capcom, like I said, I think they overhyped the hell out of this. I think what their plan was to, hey, we're going to get people interested in this, and they overhyped it for what it was worth. It is way overhyped. Way more so than I think they wanted to admit, way more so than I think they ever will admit. It was over fucking hyped. And that's literally what it is. It was overhyped. Hands down. I don't think it lives up to the reputation. I think this is one of those, if you look at it, you'd go, oh, this is like that Solid Snake game that was like a download or something, and it sucked, and you paid like the full retail price for it. And that thing just blew. It was like 2 hours long, and it really didn't add anything to the story. This one, it's basically like 3 or 4 hours long, depending upon who you watch play it. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's, okay, it sounds interesting. Okay, this seems pretty cool. But the minute that ending hits you, it's like, oh, that's it? Yeah, I'm out. You just lose all caring and giving a rat's ass and all that other fun shit. You just lose all of it. So, yeah. But either way, players found a way around the demo. Come on. On the PC, it's not that difficult. I guarantee you it did not take them long to do that. PC gamers are notorious for screwing with the code, checking the source code. Any pro gamer or any gamer that just wants to find the Easter eggs and leak some extra information out to get themselves that edge over the other gamers. Like, hey, I know how the secret ending, or I know that there's a secret compartment in this, that was cut out from the game, but you can access it as a modded weapon that they didn't have in the game, but they still have the code in it for it. I said the same thing was going to happen when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, when they had the whole National Dex debate and debacle where they were not including that. And I made the comment, and I still stood by it, and I'm glad I did. I stood by it. I said, watch that somebody is going to buy that game, dig through the source code, and they are going to find that every single Pokemon can be in this game. And lo and behold, they did find that, because they blew Game Freak's entire bullshit of, oh, well, we have to save room, oh, well, it's all new sprites for the Nintendo DS. No, there weren't new sprites, or the Nintendo Switch. They're not new sprites. They're the same sprites from the 3DS. You lied to every single person, you rotten hell. That was basically what happened with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I knew it was going to happen. I said it was going to happen. I stood high on my horse and said it was going to happen, and look who was right. But with this one, of course they're going to find a way to, go past the timer. It's not that fucking difficult. The minute they got access to the files, boom, they're in there searching the code to find that, to disable it. Somehow, some way, they're going to disable it. And there's entire videos that show people how to do this, so it's not like it's some master genius. It's like simplistic nerds sitting in a basement somewhere. Hell, I can actually watch a video on how to do this and know how to do it. It's not that difficult of a concept, but it's one that I think a lot of online-only games and games you can get the demo for online-only are going to have to deal with going forward. Because there are some demos that pretty much have the whole fucking game in it. If you're only giving it a timer limit, that's the whole fucking game almost. Because then that means that you're preventing them from playing the whole game because you put a timer lock on it. That way, it doesn't have to take up all the space, but it's still on there just in case. Now, some games that isn't true. There are some that it's the demo only. It'll end either once you hit a certain part, or once the timer's up, it'll end and reset itself. But not all. There are some that's like the whole freaking game's on there, and it's just, the whole game. That's fun. But yeah, so seriously, yeah. This was a no-duh moment here, kids. It really was. Alright, so Sony seems to have a little bit of a stupidity issue when it comes to thanking people for getting free downloads from games, or for games, or of games. Either way, it's going to be fun. So, the author of this Kotaku article, I should say, grabbed up a few free PS Plus games on the PS5 like they usually do. And they ended up getting a shit ton of emails from Sony confirming supposed purchases, which prompted a mild freakout. I could just imagine those like, what the hell? I didn't order this. Oh, dear God. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Then they realized that, oh, yeah, I bought software that was free. The games were free. Oh, okay. But this cycle's gone on for a few years now, and it's like a telltale chill every single time. So on the PS4 and PS5, you can find free-to-play games, free DLC apps, and PS Plus games. None of this content will cost you a penny. That's my kind of games. But when you buy it or add it to your library, Sony still considers this a transaction. As such, the company sends you an email a few minutes after you grab Netflix or Warframe for some other free piece of content, and it does this every time. If this wasn't enough, though, it's an annoyance, basically. It is. It's also incredibly odd that it doesn't have a default behavior for email notifications and receipts. Something similar like what my email does for, like, if it's the same thing over and over and over again, it's one email. And it's just like, oh, look, here's 6 or 7 versions of this. It's all lumped into one because it all comes from the same address. Has the same subject header. It's just literally the same thing. So, yeah. They dug around the settings a bit before writing this, and they couldn't find any button or feature to disable or adjust these emails. They could change their email to an account that they don't use often, but then they probably miss out on actual important PSN ID emails. And they could create a separate Gmail folder to catch these notifications, but that doesn't stop them from coming. It just moves the problem to a different area, which isn't how you generally solve a problem. No, you don't move a problem from square A to square B and figure that that'll fix it, because it's still going to give you the same issue. So, yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of think that is annoying as all hell. And it's highly annoying, though. Because you're getting like multiple emails, and I get the same thing from like eBay. If I buy something on eBay, or if I buy 2 or 3 things on eBay, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, so here's the confirmation of your order. Here's the thing that, oh yeah, well, you've authorized the payment to eBay, but money won't be leaving your account until we get through to it. Yeah, I could see it being a highly humongous annoyance. There's probably a way to turn it off. It's probably buried somewhere. But yeah, I kind of agree. Sony and a lot of these other game companies should easily just do like one mass email. It's like, look, especially if it's the same fucking account too. Because I know if I buy something on eBay and I buy like multiple things from the same buyer, it used to come up, and it still kind of does to a point, and it'll tell you what you all bought in the confirmation. It's like, oh look, you got this, and this from this seller. So, yeah, I couldn't see why Sony couldn't do that. Like, you purchased the following and have it be just like literally one email. You purchased the following, this, and this. So, when I saw this article, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree on that. Because that would be a little annoying to me. That it's like, oh, well, I can't exactly get rid of any of my stuff here because for some reason, Sony just keeps sending me a shit ton of emails, and now I'm, terrified that I fucked something up. And yeah, I mean, Sony should literally just consider that like one email with every single transactionable purchase, problem solved. But no, it's just a no. I guess they figure this way they can try to sucker people, try to upsell them. I don't know, but yeah, I find that annoying as all hell too, so you're not alone in this. But I definitely wanted to share that one. I thought that article was kind of interesting. And it was a short one, and I needed a short one for this week. But yeah, that's definitely something that I agree with. Companies like Sony and a few other ones I can probably think of, they lump everything into one gigantic-ass email, and that does get annoying as hell. No, well, that would be the non-annoying version. But when you get multiple ones instead of that, I'd rather have the one giant email than the 75 individual ones just, clogging up my inbox. Yeah, that's where I stand. I agree. They should find a way to streamline that. Definitely. Alright, so let's talk about this. This is going to be a long one-ish for a little bit, so bear with me. So we've now officially hit the point where Pokemon cards are now 100% cannon fodder for scalpers, to the point that they are now bombarding grocery stores because apparently there's a little promo giveaway with some cereal, Trix, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cocoa Puffs, and Lucky Charms, where you get 3 free Pokemon cards inside. Try saying that 5 times fast. And it's actually getting to the point where apparently Pokemon giveaways, the at Poke TCG or TC giveaways, actually tweeted out a picture of Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Toast Crunch boxes with those security things on that you would see on like electronic devices. The security thing that if you try opening the box or you try cutting it, it sounds an alarm. Now, whether or not that image is real, I don't know. It might actually be. That's how freaking terrifying this is right now. But it wasn't long ago that the Pokemon card game was causing trouble in the world. so fast. Yeah, fast food. Because you had all the Pokemon ones from McDonald's that they couldn't keep their hands, they couldn't keep them in stock. I remember back when the Pokemon card game came out, kids were getting mugged for them in streets. People were stealing cards from kids. They were busting open packs. Those things were harder to come by than the Holy Grail, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and the Leprechaun. Those things were difficult to find, and if you did find them, you were holding on to them for dear life because you could get mugged for them. Not even joking, there was an entire article because my grandfather didn't want me to get involved in trading cards. Unless they were baseball cards. I'm not even joking here. Because, oh, well, certain family member says that they're, not worth the time and effort. It's all just one big fad and it'll die off in about a year and then you'll be stuck with them. You're better off with baseball cards. They'll last an eternity. Yeah, right. Okay. You tell me how then there's a Magic the Gathering card that's worth like $5,000. So, yeah, I don't think so. At least $5,000 plus. There are a lot of these trading cards that are worth their small weight in gold. Yeah, it's a fad that's going to die off, huh? And all this is because of so many things I knew was going to happen. Because you've seen me, I've talked about it a couple times. And you know this was going to happen. So we have those Pokemon cards that show up on auction. And people see that this card just sold for like $165,000. And I said this, I think it was like last year when one of those went up, or the year before when one went up on auction and it went for a shit ton of money, that all this is going to do is make people want to look at their collection, and they're going to charge an arm and a leg, and they're going to flood the market with it, and then you're going to get screwed. Well, say hello to screwed. Because it's just worse. So now we have scalpers that are literally running into the damn cereal aisle and grabbing the cards, just ripping the boxes open of the cereal, wasting the food just to get their hands on the Pokemon cards. There's shortages though. On these, like stores like Walmart have run into shortages thanks to bulk buying. In some cases, even stealing, which is just horrible. Some of the more nefarious instances reportedly have folks tearing the boxes open right in the store to snatch the coveted Pokemon cards. And that kind of situation tends to lead to over-the-top measures like those pictured below. So I guess this picture is real, of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Lucky Charms with the security devices attached to them. Which, if we ever get to that point with food, that's the problem. I don't care what it is. That's a problem. And even the non-theft examples apparently have some people buying up entire pallets of cereal just to score the cards. Seriously. I love this. Look, some of us are just trying to enjoy their Cinnamon Toast Crunch in peace. So hopefully the madness will end soon. It's just the toilet paper all over again. Now it's cereal boxes with the Pokemon cards in it. I gotta have these cards! Out of my way, Grandma! And this entire thing is just blown the fuck up because a lot of people sold some Pokemon cards. They brought in a shit ton of money. And I really hate to say it this way, but you have one moth and one dim yellow bulb, and every other moth is going to suddenly see that dim yellow bulb that first moth saw and that first moth found. Now all the other moths want that dim yellow bulb. Well, say hello to the dim yellow bulbs. And that's just like one half of this scenario, one half of this issue. And this is why it bothers me. Because there was an article that was posted up on Vice.com which caught my attention last week, but I had already recorded the podcast at the time, so I couldn't exactly, talk about it. But apparently, America has a dire Pokemon card crisis. Okay, that's a problem. That's a massive, massive issue here. Okay, we have a crisis of Pokemon cards. So Pokemon cards aren't just expensive, the card grading services are being completely overwhelmed in an avalanche of cardboard. And remember, these card grading services, you have to pay them. So they're getting inundated with a shit ton of business that I don't think they ever anticipated nor wanted. A card grading service is not supposed to be used because you want to make sure that your, common as all fuck me out card is going to sell for $2,000 on eBay. No. So the article goes that is it possible, even maybe even likely, that sometime during the pandemic you have heard that Pokemon card collecting is undergoing a sort of renaissance. Renaissance my ass. We have hit the... If we're now putting security devices on cereal boxes, we have passed Renaissance. We are full on into what the holy fuck moments of levels here. Sorry, folks. But yeah, the card collecting game's undergone a sort of renaissance, having a large swaths of the world largely confined to their homes, send people searching for new hobbies, rediscovering old ones, and searching their closets for old collectibles. All of this has led to a scorching, hot Pokemon card market. And I mean so hot that you're basically hearing that, hot, hot, hot song in your damn head. I mean, I have Pokemon cards that I've been trying to get rid of. I'm not even joking. I have been trying to, get rid of these cards for a while now, and I bought these years ago. For people like me, this is actually a good time to get rid of them because you're getting rid of something that you had for a couple years. And I literally bought them to turn and burn. I didn't buy them to keep. Unless it's a Pikachu card. Pikachu cards I'm keeping because I like Pikachu. Pikachu's my favorite Pokemon. And any Pokemon card I have that's Pikachu, I have Zapdos, so it was the very first rare card I ever got. Those cards stay with me indefinitely. They're never going to leave my side. But you're going to have cards that are worth an arm and a leg that deserve and should be graded because you want to try to get the most for it. By the way, I don't believe in the grading system, but there are people that swear to it. So if you want to do that for a card, fine. You might get maybe a couple hundred more, but don't expect an arm and a leg. Come on. And you're never going to get a grade 10. I don't care how the hell they spin that bullshit, you're never getting a grade 10. That's full-on BS. So, you've maybe heard about this though already, but apparently this author needs to explain just how out of hand things have gotten. The story here is not Pokemon cards are kind of popular again. The resurgent interest in Pokemon cards has brought multiple major, well-respected companies to their fucking knees. Okay? It's caused Target stores to consider calling the cops and has led to shortages and or price increases in basically anything remotely attracted or attached to the hobby of collecting cards. What the hell, people? Look, well, I want to reconnect with my hobby that I had for a kid. Yeah, I collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I sell some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Hey, look, if Magic the Gathering cards are suddenly skyrocketed in price, I got a shit ton of those I paid a dime a piece for. Can I get rid of those? Some of them maybe even less than that. Can I get rid of those and get a decent profit on that, get a good ROI? Hell, if I can get $2 a card, or even more, that's a damn good ROI per card. Hell, I don't care. But when it comes to this, you're going to start getting the top loaders are now going to be going up in price, and that pisses me off. The card sleeves are going to be going up in price, pissing me off. Because now you're basically ruining it for everybody else because you want to get the top dollar for your card. I just want to get rid of some of mine and get a little extra money in my pocket. I'm not looking to get butt-ass rich. I'm not expecting to, let me ditch these cards and go buy a fucking Ferrari or something. And a lot of these people are thinking, I get rid of these cards, I can go buy myself a house or buy myself an island. What the fuck? And the majority of it, I want to say most of it's because of the pandemic, yeah. But at the same time, here's the thing. A lot of these older cards were finding their way to auctions. Those auctions were selling them for bullshit prices that were astronomically high. The reason why it's that high is because of this very simple scenario. It's a Pokemon card. You're hyped up in the middle of the auction. All of a sudden, it's, oh my god, it's Charizard. I always wanted a Charizard when I was a kid, and I could never get my hands on one. Search on fucking eBay. You can usually find one for under $20. Hell, I had 2 of them I sold for a friend of mine, and she got less than $20 a card. And one of them was a Japanese one, for God's sake. And they were fucking Charizards. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that goddamn difficult. But you have that scenario where this person's like, oh my god, it's Charizard. I've always wanted a Charizard card. And now they're instantly going crazy, and there's start a bidding war with person B and C that also want the Charizard card, and now they're in a bidding war until everything's said and done, the dust is settled, and the gavels hit the fucking thing. Now all of a sudden it's, oh my god, I just spent $400,000 on a goddamn Charizard card. That, honest to God, is only worth maybe $200. Because, here's the thing, with trading cards, especially with TCGs, they start going down in price. I remember making a comment to my mom because I've been looking up some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some really good ones that are like astronomically high in price. There's one that I actually have an eye on, and I figure, well, if I can get this thing for like $10 or less, I'll consider that a win, because I would consider this a $10 card. That, okay, it's worth about $10. I'm not going to get lucky enough to pull it from a pack. I'd have to actually get the pack, and the pack's difficult to get my hands on. So, yeah, it would probably cost me more to get at least a couple packs to try my luck to pull it out, or literally just pay the $10 and buy the damn card. So, I'm like, yeah, if I can get it for like $10 or less, I'll probably get it. And that would be the most I would be willing to spend on a Yu-Gi-Oh card, would be $10. But it's one that would, A, never be leaving my collection, unless I really, really, really didn't want it anymore. Or B, I honestly just look at this thing and go, why did I spend $10 on this? And I try to turn and burn it and get a little bit of profit out of it. But with trading cards like this, every time the set is reprinted, every time they reprint that card, and I will use Yu-Gi-Oh as a prime example. The Dark Magician has been reprinted how many times? Yes, the original one from SDY is still worth a bit of money. Yeah, because it's the original. If you still have that old school one, yeah, that's worth a bit of money. Especially because back then, which would have been the late 90s, early 2000s, nobody gave a rat's ass about collecting these trading cards. They didn't know what the value of these things would bring down the road. Now that they know, they're coveted, and a lot of the ones that still existed or are in good condition are selling like fucking crazy. But the thing is, the card companies will reprint these cards. So that's putting more of that card into circulation. So if you wanted this card because, A, it was the only one available at the time, and now here's another set of those cards, now it's not worth that much anymore because now they've been reprinted. So that drops the price down. So for a lot of these cards that you're sending to get graded, if they're reprints, you're wasting your money. Because, sure, okay, the reprint might bring you a bit of money, but the thing is, you're not going to get the amount that the original rare one would have brought in its heyday. And even that's not going to happen anymore because it was reprinted. If you can get the reprinted card cheaper, I would just pay to get the reprinted card cheaper. Like, well, it was an ultra rare, but now it's just a common card. I'll pay for the common card because then that way I can have the card and then not have the massive price tag attached to the original anymore. And that happens with this stuff. But yeah, here we go. It's a lot wilder than you thought. So, do you work at CGC, BGS, or PSA? Kotaku would love to hear from you. I don't know if anybody ever caught them up on that. I don't know. But if you've considered Pokemon cards when you were a child, if you collected them, you played in weekly tournaments, blah, blah, blah. At least that's what the author of this one did. They competed. They did well in a national tournament sponsored by Nintendo in 1999. And that tournament alone, they won a series of cards that are now worth thousands of dollars. Yeah, promo cards like that would be worth a shit ton of money. And those are the ones that end up getting put up on auction and then make everybody go batshit crazy. And like many other people, he spent much of their last few months digging through their old cards, identifying which ones are valuable, and selling them on eBay. For me, hey look, it's a bunch of trading cards. Common ones are going into a giant pile. You get 10 commons for $1. By the way, I still sell 10 common Yu-Gi-Oh cards for $1. Go check it out. I think I upped it now to 20 common cards for like $2, I think. So yeah, go check it out. It's worth it. But it's like, you can buy multiple packs online. People will just go, well, I got a bunch of common cards. Well, I could sell them 3 at a pack. Or just make a mixed pack, which is what a lot of kids used to do with the trading cards. And that was a really cool business idea. It's like, hey, look, I bought a crap ton of baseball cards and, other sports cards. And they would just make mixed packs. Then that way, everybody got a taste of something. And they made a bit of money on the side. That's what a lot of people do. But yeah, of course you're going to have people that are going to sell these cards for shit tons of money, and a lot of them are going to look and go, well, this one's really valuable. I'm going to sell it on eBay for $500,000. It's like, it's not worth a fucking Ferrari. And don't forget, eBay has a price cap for certain selling levels. So if you hit that price cap, you have to wait until your item either sells or eBay ups your limit. And that takes time. I think that happened to me like one time. And that was because I got close to it and eBay didn't know if it was going to keep going up. And at the time, I think it was like, I think it's $5,000 now. But I think at the time it was like $1,000. And something that I had up with like all my combined items for the month was like $900 something. Now, none of them all sold for that, for starters, by the way. But because I was hitting that level and a couple of my items had active bidders on it, eBay's like, whoa, we got to up your amount here. We need to up the maximum you're allowed to have. And they upped it because in their mind, this could potentially bring us more money, which it would, but it didn't go any higher. I think it sold for like maybe $50, 60 at the most. That was it. But because it was like the one massive item and I was almost like maxed out on how much you could have up per month, eBay's like, whoa, we got to up this. Otherwise, he's liable to lose money and we're liable to lose money, and that's going to be bad. So, yeah. But there's also those sought-after cards. First Edition Charizard, one of the most sought-after cards of all time. Yeah. When this person was 10, they sold it on eBay when they were 11 for $150, and it was a huge sum of money at the time. Well, yeah, to an 11-year-old, $150 buys you a shit ton of candy and a few video games. Hell, depending on if it was back in the 90s, I could buy you a couple video games, a shit ton of movies, popcorn, junk food out your ass. You'd still have some change. Think the Hey Arnold episode. You'd still have some change. But one of those cards sold for more than $300,000 a few months ago, and like many other people, they've spent the last few months digging through their old cards, identifying which ones are valuable, and then selling them on eBay, hence flooding the goddamn market with your crap. And therein lies the issue. I had to take economics in high school. Okay? And the one rule of economics is when you have multiple things of the same thing. So if person A is selling this, and person B is selling this, and person C is selling this, and they're all the same item, and, person A was selling it for the longest time and made a crap ton of money, but then person B and C came along realizing they could undercut person A. Persons B and C are now selling it. You're flooding the market with this, trying to undercut one person, make as much money as they made, and all you're doing is pissing off the customers because now there's not going to be worth that much. Because what you're charging is not worth that much. So now person A has to drop their price to undercut you, and they were making more money the first time. And it's a slippery slope. But apparently, though, this person hasn't even begun to sell their most valuable cards, and they have already made more than $3,000. They sold the first edition Eevee, one of the most common cards in the Jungle set released in 1999. Wow, for $40. Holy shit. First edition Magikarp, the most impotent Pokemon that has ever existed, for $30. Or for $70. Holy shit. I mean, I had the Jungle expansion pack. Shit, I don't even think I have any of those cards. I think most of those got destroyed. Or damaged or beat the hell. Oh, well. Boys and girls, this is why it's always good to take care of your cards, too. I mean, this is a double-edged story here. It really is. But yeah, a good way, though, to check on prices, people are selling Pokemon cards for, is to check eBay's sold items. And how you do that is really simple. When you look for something in eBay, and it brings up the list of active items, go over to Advanced. It'll take you to a whole new menu, and click on the checkbox next to sold listings, and then click, search, or refined search, and it'll pull up all the sold listings. And what you should do is if you really want to do this, this is about the only way I can really see do this. There's two different ways to do this. You can either play the game like person A, B, and C play, where they're undercutting each other to try to get your business, or you see what it's sold for, what it's currently going for, and come up with a number in between that's, around what it's selling for, but a little less than what it's going for. That's how you do this. But yeah, they're very high, though, to be honest, and it's pretty normal collector stuff. Kept the cards in the first place because they might be worth something someday, and now it's someday. So it looks like I'm going to be getting rid of my Pokemon cards, my Magic the Gathering cards. Oh, I've already been trying to get rid of some of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so yay! Looks like it's time for the trading card renaissance to come, huh? But what's not normal, though, is happening to the higher end, like I was saying, for the collecting hobby and specialty of the graded card market. There's a grading industry in the collectibles world whose purpose is to authenticate and determine the condition of a card or a comic book or a piece of sports memorabilia. For Pokemon, Magic, and sports card graders, consider the centering, color, edges, and general condition of the card as assigned and assign it a score between 1 and 10. 10 is considered gem and mint, and the only goddamn way I ever see a grade 10 being in somebody's possession is they literally took it off the goddamn printing press right after it came out. But apparently these are causing massive issues now because these companies are being massively slammed with these trading cards. It's like, you're getting this stuff. But getting a card graded, though, at a higher score affects the price of the card on the secondary market. Yeah, because people are going to say, oh, it's a grade 10 Charizard. I gotta have it. If you get it graded, then that means that it could be worth something. But if you don't get it graded, well, that means you can't ask for a shit ton of money, and then the person that bought it could easily go, well, I'm going to go and take this and get this graded now, and then get myself some more money, and then they're just doing what you just didn't want to pay to have done. Yay! But you can read the whole thing, though, in this article. There are the magical pre-releases, and I do have a couple of those. I know I have, like, a Kingler, or Kingdra. I think it's a Kingdra. Yeah, it's a Kingdra. I have like a Kingdra pre-release, so yeah, there's a lot of this stuff. I'm not gonna go into like the whole Vice article because it's really long, but you can read it for yourself. But yeah, they are basically it's a PSA and CGC have posted increasingly alarming blog posts and updates about the current state of the grading industry. All three of the companies are making a lot of money, though, despite it being completely unable to keep up with the demand. And thus, the world falls to shit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. The end of the world is next, followed by what the hell is wrong with you people coming up after that. I mean, this is basically like, oh, look, here's somebody, it's like a publisher's clearinghouse. I guess this would be like a good way of doing that. Where one person's like, I could win $1,000 for the rest of my life, a week. And they all submit the entry forms. And then all of a sudden they can't keep up with the entry forms. But yeah, read the article for yourself. It actually is quite massively eye-opening. It is just humongous. I don't want to go into the whole thing. But this is insanity. Okay? And pure fucking insanity that Pokemon cards have skyrocketed. And I'm guessing it's not even only... Yeah. I'm guessing it's not even only just Pokemon cards, because I'm swearing to God, if Magic the Gathering jumped up in price, the giant-ass binder of those I have, the little baggie of cards that I have, their asses are gone. And I bought them originally to turn and burn, because I got them at the Dollar Tree for 10 cents a card. Whoa! If I can turn and burn them, I'm a happy kid. I'm a happy man if I can turn and burn them. My entire goal was sell them for $1 a piece and make a profit. If I sell one of them for $1, hey, I made my money back. The rest of it's gravy. Literally. I bought them to turn and burn. I bought them to have stock, like the comic books that I have. But yeah, that's what happens with this stuff. And then somebody will come along and go, oh, this card's worth like $650,000. And next thing you know, everybody's digging through their closet looking for this card because it's worth so much money. But just because person A sold it for $600,000 doesn't mean that you're going to get it for $600,000. You're going to end up getting less. Because the person that bought it the first time was in the right place, the right time, the conditions were different than what it is now. But yeah, it's a cautionary tale, but an interesting cautionary tale. So in other words, the trading card renaissance is upon us. All hail our card stock kings! Well, looks like it's time for me to finally delve into my trading cards and see what I got for sale. Whenever I seem to get into something, it dies pretty fast, so I guess I'll have to put an end to this one, folks, huh? It's true, I bought 2 fidget spinners and then the fidget spinner craze died. Literally. Literally, I bought one, it dies like a week later, and I ended up getting a second one because I think I ruined the ball bearings on the first one, and I ruined the ball bearings on the second one then too anyway. I don't know how. I think it's just like too much moisture in my room. It's like they're ruined. It only cost, both of them together, I think were like $1.50 that it cost me, so I'm really not going to cry about it. But it's like whenever I get into something, the fad dies. So, hey... why not? I've been collecting trading cards for years. Time for it to finally pay out. And then just like that, the fad'll die. Alright then, folks. Looks like it's time for me to kill a fad. Today on Andrew Takes Down Something, I'm taking down a fad. Yeah! Oh, God. I know, I'm a horrible person. I know, but still. This is insane. But yeah, check out the article. It's from Vice. Link in the description. It is eye-opening, I'm not going to lie. It is massively impressive, but still, terrifying as all hell to know that these cards are now skyrocketing in price and everybody's selling them. I mean, it's good if you want to collect the card that you didn't get. You might be able to get it for a cheaper price, but you never know until you try. But yeah, there's a good and bad with this, and it's how you look at it. It could be really good or really bad. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it then this week for the absolutely, completely random podcast. I'd like to thank you all for sticking around for this almost hour and a half. I actually kind of did the math here this time. I should be almost accurate, but who knows? I'm probably off again anyway. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in for this last hour plus that I've been on here, squawking away here on the podcast, because it means a lot to me that you stuck around this long. But either way, don't forget to submit your questions for this month's Q&A video. I'd like to wish all the moms out there Happy Mother's Day, because that is today, if I am correct in my accusation of most things generic. But yeah, because it's supposed to be on the 9th, which is tomorrow, which is when this video will go up, which is the 9th, because I recorded it on the 8th. I hope I said that in the opening. I probably fucked it up. But anyways, it's a random podcast is what happens. Oh yeah, how do you think I said that? Yeah, welcome to the podcast for May 8th, 2021. No, I didn't say that. Shit. Why took me an entire hour to realize that I fucked up my opening? Oh, well, I'm not going back and re-recording it. It's a random podcast. Anything can happen here. Anything happens. It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye and their ball drops off. But it's all fun and games, folks, until we start losing body parts. Anyway, though, thank you all for tuning in to the podcast this week. Like I said, don't forget to submit your Q&A questions for this month's Q&A. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And until next week, I'm Andrew Rhodes. I'm bowing out. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I'm going to bed. I am out of here. Catch you all next week here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that fun jazz. Ring the notification bell. And I will catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.